The single dad gripped his daughter's small hand so tight his knuckles turned white because he had exactly $4 left in his pocket and rent was due in 2 days. He didn't know that in less than 10 minutes, stepping into the wrong elevator would change his life forever. But right now, all he knew was fear. Real fear. The kind that keeps a grown man awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering how he's going to feed his little girl tomorrow. His name doesn't matter. What matters is what he did next. He pushed open the heavy glass doors of a downtown office tower, not because he belonged there, but because it was raining outside and his daughter had a fever, and he just needed somewhere warm for 5 minutes before their bus arrived. He never imagined that walking into the wrong elevator would put him face to face with the most powerful woman in the city. And what happened after that gasp of hers would leave everyone in that building speechless. Stay with me, because this story is about to break your heart and then heal it completely. 3 months earlier, the single dad had a good job. Not a fancy one, but a steady one, working maintenance at a small manufacturing plant on the edge of town. His wife had passed away 2 years before that, and every single day since, he had been both mother and father to his 6-year-old daughter, a bright little girl with curly hair and a gap-toothed smile named Lily. He packed her lunches. He braided her hair, badly, but with love. He read her bedtime stories in a voice that cracked sometimes, especially on the pages her mother used to read. Then the plant closed. No warning. Just a letter taped to the front gate one Monday morning. 50 workers gone just like that. He applied everywhere. Warehouses, grocery stores, delivery companies. Nothing. Weeks turned into months. Their small apartment grew colder because he couldn't always pay for heat. He sold his truck. He sold his wedding ring. And that decision alone kept him up crying quietly in the bathroom so Lily wouldn't hear. That morning, the morning everything changed, Lily woke up burning with fever. The single dad didn't have insurance anymore. He didn't have money for a doctor. So he wrapped her in her warmest coat and walked 20 minutes through the rain to the free clinic downtown, the one that always had a 2-hour wait. While they waited outside because the lobby was full, Lily started shivering so hard her teeth chattered, and the single dad, desperate, pushed open the doors of the nearest building just to get her out of the rain for a few minutes. That building happened to be Camden Tower, headquarters of Camden Global Enterprises, one of the largest companies in the state. He didn't know that. He just saw warmth and shelter. He sat Lily down on a bench near the elevators, rubbing her tiny hands between his to warm them, whispering, "You're gonna be okay, sweetheart. Daddy's got you." Hey. Security guards started walking toward them, probably to ask them to leave, and in that moment of panic, the single dad grabbed Lily and stepped into the first elevator that opened, not even checking which floor it was going to. He just needed to disappear for a moment to protect his daughter from the embarrassment of being thrown out into the rain. The doors closed. The elevator began to rise, and that's when he realized his mistake. This wasn't a public elevator. This was the executive elevator, the one that went straight to the top floor, the private floor of the CEO herself. By the time he understood what was happening, the doors had already opened again, right into a glass office overlooking the entire city. And standing there, papers in her hand, was a woman named Diane Camden, CEO of the company, a woman known across the country for being sharp, guarded, and almost impossible to surprise. She looked up, expecting her assistant. Instead, she saw a soaked, exhausted man holding a shivering little girl in his arms. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Diane's papers slipped from her hands and scattered across the floor, because the moment she saw his face, really saw it, something inside her cracked wide open. "I'm so sorry," the single dad said quickly, stepping back toward the closing elevator doors, humiliated. "We got lost. We'll go. I'm sorry. Please don't call security." But Diane didn't call security. Instead, she said the words that changed everything. "Wait, please. I know that scarf." Confused, the single dad looked down at the thin, faded blue scarf wrapped around Lily's neck, the same scarf his late wife had knitted years ago, the only piece of her he had left besides his daughter. "My sister made that scarf," Diane whispered, her voice shaking now. "She used that exact pattern. She was learning to knit before she passed away. I gave her that yarn for her birthday." The single dad's heart stopped. "My wife," he said slowly. She said a friend taught her that pattern. A friend named Diane, from a knitting class at the community center years ago. Diane's eyes filled with tears. That was me, she said. Before all this, before the company, before any of it, I used to teach a free knitting class on Tuesday nights. I taught a woman with kind eyes and a beautiful laugh, who told me she was making something special for her future daughter someday. The single dad's knees nearly gave out. His late wife, Sarah, had mentioned that class more than once, how much it meant to her, how the teacher had believed in her during a hard time in her life, long before they'd even met. Diane knelt down slowly to Lily's level, touching the edge of the scarf so gently, like it was something sacred. "You must be her daughter," she said softly, tears now falling freely. She talked about wanting a little girl one day. She said she'd name her Lily, after her grandmother's garden. Lily, still weak with fever but curious, whispered, "That's my name." The room went completely silent except for the sound of rain against the tall windows. Diane looked up at the single dad, her voice barely above a whisper. "What happened to her?" He swallowed hard. "She passed away 2 years ago. Complications after surgery. It's just been me and Lily since then." Diane pressed her hand to her chest, overwhelmed. For years, she had wondered what happened to that gentle young woman from her Tuesday night class, the one who used to bring her homemade banana bread and laugh so easily despite clearly struggling with money. Diane had built an empire since then, but some memories never fade. They just wait quietly for the right moment to return. "I lost her contact information when I moved," Diane said, wiping her eyes. "I always wondered if she got the life she deserved." The single dad's voice cracked. "She got a daughter she loved more than anything. But things have been hard since she's been gone. Really hard." He almost didn't say the next part, but exhaustion and desperation pushed the truth out of him. "We got caught in the rain today because I couldn't afford a taxi to the clinic. I lost my job 3 months ago. I've applied everywhere. I just needed somewhere warm for 5 minutes so my daughter wouldn't get sicker." Diane didn't respond with pity. She responded with action. She picked up the phone on her desk and called down to her head of facilities. "I need someone from HR up here immediately," she said firmly. "And someone from our medical office too, right now." Within minutes, a company nurse arrived to check on Lily, giving her medicine and a warm blanket, while Diane sat directly across from the single dad, treating him not like a stranger who wandered into the wrong elevator, but like family. "I don't know everything you've been through," Diane said, "but I know the woman who raised you, well, I know the woman who loved you enough to marry you, was one of the kindest people I ever met. And I believe kindness finds its way back around, eventually. Sometimes it just takes the wrong elevator to get there." She offered him a position on the spot, not out of charity, but because their facilities management department genuinely needed someone reliable. And after speaking with him for 20 minutes, she saw exactly that. Steady, honest, a hard worker who never once asked for a handout, only an opportunity. He broke down crying right there in her office, the weight of 3 unbearable months finally lifting off his shoulders. "I promise," he said, voice trembling, "I will not let you down." "I know you won't," Diane answered gently. "Sarah always said you were the most loyal man she ever met." 6 months later, the single dad had stable work, a warm apartment, and enough savings to breathe again. Lily started smiling more, laughing louder, sleeping better at night. And every single Tuesday evening, Diane hosted a small knitting circle in the community room of Camden Tower, open to anyone struggling, anyone needing a place to belong. Lily sat in the front row every single time, learning the same pattern her mother once learned, her small hands guided patiently by the woman who never forgot a kind, gentle soul from years before. Sometimes the single dad would stand quietly by the door, watching his daughter laugh with the woman who had given them a second chance, and he would think about how one wrong elevator, one desperate decision made out of love for his daughter, had led them exactly where they needed to be. Not because it was luck, but because kindness, once given, never truly disappears. It waits patiently, sometimes for years, until it's ready to come home. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment to share your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Wings of Kindness for more inspiring stories. Remember, Even the smallest act of kindness can change someone's life forever.